Here at WagerTalk, we would never say it was silly to buy a single play $25 package or buy a single play $35 package, but we are darn close to saying just that. Until Sunday at midnight Eastern, we have discounted every handicapper's 3-day all sports, all access packages to just $49. So why buy one play for $25 when you can get 3 days of all access pass for only $24 more? With the 5% that regularly costs $35, you can get 3 full days for only $14 more. No coupon needed. Just head over to WagerTalk and go to your favorite handicapper's homepage and lock in your 3-day all access pass for only $49.
Happy Friday, guys. Welcome in right here to WagerTalk TV. I'm Andrew McInnis, and I also have Carmine and Bianco with me and Marco D'Angelo. We have 3 games to break down, and yes, you heard me right. Marco D'Angelo is joining us on the show today. Hope to have Marco a lot more during the NHL season, but he has a big play up tonight, and we want to let you guys know about that a little bit later on in the show. But the 3 games we do have tonight, Stars and Panthers going head-to-head, the Ducks and the Wild. And I wouldn't really call this the game of the night. The Arizona Coyotes and the Colorado Avalanche. We'll see if the Arizona Coyotes can do another upset like they did just a couple days ago. But guys, before we jump into the show, I do want to mention I did drop my 5% NHL play last night. I did have the over in the Rangers-Sharks game. And, you know, when it's 1-0 for the majority of the game, finishes 3-0, it was kind of tough to see when you have the over in a game. But the run is still great in hockey right now. 5% run is still great, but I did drop that play, and I do apologize to all of you guys out there that purchased. We'll try and bounce back today. But Carmine, I'll throw it to you with this. We are starting to see unders, and we are seeing some underdogs catch, and after that little 1 week, week and a half break, it was pretty much all overs and all favorites, and the dogs are barking now.
Yeah, the dogs are barking. First off, with regards to that game, I was with you as far as betting on that game. The final XG numbers, if you go to natural stat trick, were 2.93 to 2.91 for the Rangers. Essentially, they're telling you that based on the chances in that game, it should have been a 3-3 game, which gets you over the total, but it's a 3-0 result. Sometimes the numbers don't tell the story. It's kind of like Vamelka the other night against the Leafs, stopping nearly, I think, 50 shots on goal and beating the Leafs. These things are going to happen. Like if someone told you, Andrew, yesterday, Columbus is going to score 6 goals in the game against Carolina, you would bet your right arm on the over in that game, but it finished 6-0. Carolina gets nothing. The Sabres, I think they're close to plus 300. Go into Nashville and win. Ottawa into Calgary. Calgary didn't even show up. They're going to have, as my friend Rob said, one of the longest morning skates this morning. They're going to get worked because that was an embarrassing loss for them. It happens, guys, and this is why I always say I avoid the big chalk, because the big chalk will kill you. And we'll talk about that in the final game of tonight's trio. But you're still having a great season, Andrew. That's all that matters. Just get right back on that bike and go. The next guy is having a great season as well. I actually, you know what? I feel like Vince Offer doing those slap chop infomercials at 2:00 in the morning, but I'm going to introduce him anyways. Marco D'Angelo, how you doing?
Hey guys, glad to be on the show. And Andrew, I got to say it. If you want me to be on the show more, look at that, whenever we do the 3-shot, there's 2 bald heads and 1 guy with lots of hair. You're going to have to go solidarity, my friend. You got to shave that head so we all look the same. But, yeah, guys, this is an exciting time of the year. You got hockey going. We're in the NFL playoffs, and I absolutely love postseason football. We came off a really good college bowl season going 12-4, and last year during the NFL playoffs, I know this is a hockey show, but got to get that shameless plug in. We hit 70% last year, guys, in the playoffs, including 3-0 on those coveted 5% plays. So looking forward to another postseason there. But we got some hockey to talk tonight, and I've had quite a bit of hockey in the last couple weeks here with the Golden Knights, and fun game Saturday night when Marc-Andre Fleury came back to Vegas, guys. The Fortress was electric, and Fleury got his little ounce of revenge with the 2-1 goalie, duel there with Leonard. So fun week for me.
I don't even know what to start with in response to that. But I'll say one thing first, Carm. Last year, I'm sure you saw it, Marco, unfortunately. Carmine tweeted at me, hey, if Montreal loses this game, Andrew will shave his head. And I said, all right. So I ended up dealing with it. And the amount of tweets I got and messages saying, dude, never do that again. You guys pull off the no hair look way better than I'll ever will in my life. So, look, I'm happy I have hair. You guys look good the way you have it. So, look, I'll never hopefully have to deal with the bald look. But the messages I got, Marco, made me realize I should never take that bet ever again in my entire life. But I'm pumped for the NFL playoffs as well. Carmine?
The next time the Canadians win a game, I'll shave my head just to make it even. But I'm not sure it's going to happen the rest of this year. But it's great to have Marco on. This guy is living the life in Vegas. Absolutely. Guy goes to the Carrie Underwood concert. A couple nights ago, he goes to the Katy Perry concert. He's got Vegas Golden Knights season tickets. Quite the life, and weather and poker and gambling. I strive to be that in 30 years' time when I'm the same age as Marco. But back to you, Andrew.
I could just let you guys go at each other all show. That'd be kind of fun. I could just take the back seat. That would be a good time. But let's jump into our first game, and we'll get back to more banter and promotion stuff in the middle of the show. But Dallas and Florida going head-to-head. Florida's at home. They're minus 210 tonight, fellas. Dallas plus 175 on the road. Total is 6.5 in this one. Again, I repeat, we have a Dallas Stars game with a total of 6.5. I cannot believe it. I'll remind you guys, last year we were seeing 5s sometimes as totals for the Dallas Stars. We are now seeing a 6.5 in a game involving the Dallas Stars, and they have been involved in some higher scoring games, talking 7-4, 6-5, 5-2. This team, their totals are a lot different right now, past couple of weeks, than we've even seen early in the season or last year. They're starting to become an over team. We'll see if they maintain that. The Florida Panthers, we know what to expect with this team. They score. They've got talent, and sometimes they have some defensive issues. Carm, where are you going in this game?
Andrew, I've made it perfectly clear my thoughts right now. I know variance at some point will kick in for this Dallas Stars team on the road, but I just don't see how anyone can invest money on Dallas right now. As good as they are at home, we talked about it earlier this week, and I took them as a 5% play against the Seattle Kraken. As good as they've been at home, I think they've won 13 of the last 14, something along that way. They've been absolutely abysmal on the road. They're 4-11 on the road, last in the West. And I just don't see how they go into Florida and beat this Panthers team. Can it happen? Of course it can. Look at last night's results. Nothing is impossible, but I just don't see them doing it. Florida's playing so well right now. Bobrovsky is confirmed for tonight. Still no confirmation on who the Dallas goalie is, but they're projecting Ottinger in goal for them. But it's got to be Florida for me. The price is big. Of course, you can if you're fine with laying minus 195, that's perfectly fine. A lot of people are fine with it. I'm not. It's not in my repertoire of what I like to lay as far as full game money prices. I would probably look at a regulation time bet here on the Panthers. Marco, what do you think?
Well, guys, obviously you got two hot teams here. You've got Dallas, who's won 5 of their last 6, and they've scored 4 or more goals in 4 of those 6 games. And you got Florida, 6 of the last 7 they have won, and they have scored 4 or more in all 7 games. So you alluded to that high total, and still you would want to go over, but I'm going to go contrary in this game, and I'm going to look at the under in this one. And even though it looks like a stone cold over, you're paying a price seeing that 6.5. And we're seeing a lot more 6.5s in hockey this season, at least more than I can remember. And I know, you guys follow the sport a lot more than I do. This has been a crazy year with the goals. But I look at Dallas, and they've allowed just 2 goals in 3 straight games, while Florida has allowed 3 goals or less in 6 of their last 7 games. Now, you got to look at both sides of the coin when you're doing this. Yeah, both teams are scoring, but both teams are playing good defense on their side of the ice as well. And the other reason why I like this one under the total is if you take a look, both teams play again tomorrow. You've got Dallas that travels from Florida to Tampa. Granted, not a long road trip, but still they're playing back-to-back nights. And you got Florida that's going to be at home for a second night when they host Columbus tomorrow. So what I see happening here is a little more of a slower pace game, not the up and down the ice. And if it is a close game, you become playing a little more of a defensive type game. If it's a 2-1 game or 3-2 type game, trying to protect the lead. So I'm going to look at this one under, and we've got an angle on Dallas. They're 6-0 this year if they won 5 or more of their last 7 games, meaning they're playing well. And when you're playing well, generally you're playing well definitely on one side of the ice, maybe both. And over the last 3 seasons, again, we're going back a longer sample size, and the recency bias has definitely been the other way. But this is still a Dallas team that when they're playing their first road game following a home game, 21-9 to the under. And the average goals scored in those 30 games, how about 5.3 goals? I'll go ahead and take the value here and go under the total, 6.5.
Absolutely love it. The contrarian play, the total play, and it's also, I put that emphasis on the higher total, and you're going the other way, Marco. I agree with you. As much as it's 2 higher scoring teams right now, their defense has been great. And we talked about it on the show last week. Like you said, we're starting to see more 6.5s pop up because there was a point where we were seeing just when the NHL had their pause, Marco, we were seeing so many overs when it came back, and we were just waiting to start seeing some of these 6.5s. And the second we see those 6.5s, that's when we start going the other way. So I like that with the under 6.5 there. I think it's going to be a solid play, and I think it's going to be a competitive game for both teams, and hopefully a low-scoring grind-out victory, and we can all cash. But, Marco, you do have a 5% play up tonight in the NHL on the ice at WagerTalk.com, wt.buzz/MD. Let's talk about the 5% pick for a second here. We also have a coupon code PT20, taking $20 off that play. Happy to promote that for you. It's a great promo code PT20. Take $20 off. But Marco, it's a short card, but I always say sometimes on these short cards, you can find the biggest winners, man.
Oh, we do, and I'll tell you, we're going to look at the total in this one coming up here. But, guys, whenever Carmine texted me last night and said, hey, you want to come on Puck Time? I said, what games you want to do? And he sent me the 3 games. Then I realized there only was 3 games on the card tonight. So I didn't have to ask that question. But as I dug into the games, I did find one tonight that I really do like. And as you know, Andrew, I don't release many 5% plays. They are rare for me, and I've got so many angles on the particular game. So, guys, if you want to pick it up, I wanted to do something for the Puck Time viewers, but yet I couldn't just give it away because I wouldn't be fair to my long-term subscribers. So we did that coupon. Normally $35. You guys will get it for $15 using PT20. Now, on to this game tonight. I'm another totals play here with this one. And if you look at these 2 teams, I've got all kinds of angles here. Both are not playing well at the moment. You have the Minnesota-Anaheim game. Anaheim come into this game, and they're a complete mess. They've won 1 game in their last 8, and they can't generate any offense. They've only scored 2 goals or 2 goals or less in 5 of the 7 games. But when we look at the angles I have in this game, I'm looking to see a lot of goals in this one tonight. And listen to the angles we have. Anaheim, after allowing 4 goals or more in their last game, this season, their next game, they have gone over the total 12 of 16 times. 12-4 to the over. That's a pretty powerful stat there. And the other one is Minnesota at home. When the total's been 5.5, which that's what we're currently looking at. Minnesota is a perfect 8-0 this season to the over. And when Minnesota's playing at home and they're coming off a win, which they are, they've won 2 straight after a mini slump. They're 9-1 to the over. And Minnesota, if their previous game was overtime the last 2 seasons, how about a perfect 6-0 to the over for Minnesota? So we've got several angles here, all supporting that over. That's where I'm going to go in this one. Take Anaheim, Minnesota. Look for a shootout. I don't see much defense tonight.
You love to have those trends, and you love to see a high-scoring game. And this time, we're not getting a 6.5. It's just a 5.5. Marco looking towards a shootout here in this game. Carmine, Bianco, we got a play on the total. Do you have anything here on the side of total in this game? The Wild and the Ducks going head-to-head.
Yeah, both these teams, stick around for the end of the show or before the best bet segment, because both these teams will make my 6 in 60 segment that I do on Fridays. But as far as this game goes, listen, there's a lot of what Marco said makes absolute sense here. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to break this one down. It's funny because in our chat, I see a guy earlier saying, I know what Carmine's best bet is going to be. It might not be that, but I do like Minnesota in this game, and I do like Minnesota getting off to a good start. So I'll probably look at that first period on Minnesota, because you're getting some really juicy plus money on it. If you want to lay that half a goal, you're going to get about $1.50 plus $1.50 in this game. But I like the Wild here. I'm going to keep it short and to the point. I'm not going to. Marco gave you a bunch of stats. I don't want to repeat them. So give me the Wild here, minus the 150 or minus 155, whatever your book has it at now.
Well, a few weeks ago on the show, I gave out and I mentioned with Prez, it was plus 112 for the Ducks to miss the playoffs. And then I actually released it to clients at minus 140. I wished I released it, the day I discussed it and ran over those props and stuff and the futures with Prez, but minus 140. This team was second place in their division. I think anybody in the world that follows hockey, we kind of all figured the Anaheim Ducks wouldn't be able to continue what they were doing. And it looks like right now they're relying a little bit too much on their goaltenders again. Anthony Stolarz, their backup, has been great. They got John Gibson trying to get him fully healthy and be able to rely on him again. It just seems like the offense has slowed down for them, but they're also getting scored on quite a bit as well. As we've seen, they've gotten 7 goals scored against them, 6 goals. Like Marco was talking about, some of the higher scoring games they've been involved in. So Minnesota, they played 2 tough teams. They're coming off games against Washington and Boston. But if you guys want a big play on this game, make sure you go to WagerTalk.com and check it out. Marco D'Angelo. We have one more game up to discuss in this Friday night action here on the ice. We've got Colorado and Arizona. Colorado, guys, just a cheap minus 600 tonight on the ice here. Arizona plus 450. The total sits at 6.5 in this one. There's so many different ways you can approach these types of games. There's so many different ways you can dive into it, and you can try and find some value, but the puck line here is minus 225. There's a lot of high prices every single place you look. So I might be looking towards props, some combo wagers with a side and total. There's so many different things to look at, but we do have to mention, and Carm, I'm going to go to you first in this one. You talked about it. The Coyotes are off a win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, where they won that one 2-1. And the Maple Leafs, like you said, they got about 50 or 55 shots on goal. Bianco was outstanding. Can the Coyotes do it again, Carm?
At this price, Andrew, I'm not entirely sure. You could give me plus 500, plus 600 on the Coyotes, and I'm just not going to take them, but I'm not going to lay that price. They've only won 2 games in a row once this season, and that was when they beat the Red Wings, and then they beat the Kings. Every other time they followed up every other time they followed up a win with a loss. And when you're a team like Arizona or a Montreal, that is going to unfortunately happen to you. You're going to follow up a lot of your wins with losses because you're just not a very good team. And this Colorado team is just scoring goals. Again, I think we talked about it the other day. Look to see who is in the lineup and make sure that there aren't players missing. I know Landeskog was out. I think that was a COVID-related issue. I'm not sure if he's back or off the list as of yet, but how do you play this game? Even the puck line it's -1.5, -225. This is one of those ones you just put like an X through the game and say, I'm not going to play it. Or you look at the total. The total is probably the only way you can go. I see 6.5, and you could wait for a 6 to pop up in game if you're in game wagering. And the 1.5s for the first period, don't lay $1.80 on a 1.5. You can find the 2s out there, and a lot of places do have over 2s with plus money. That might be the way to go. At worst, and I won't say at worst because it could lose, but if it lands on 2, you're getting a push. But I'd rather get a push than to lose -180 first period total. It's just not the way to go. There's better things to do with your money. Bet a different game. This isn't the one to bet. -600 is absolutely ridiculous. I don't care how much money you have. If you win 6 out of 7 times betting this game with Colorado -600, you're breaking even. Think about that. You're hitting what, 90? What's 6 into 7? About 90%, a little higher than that. Marco's the math guy, and you're breaking even. You just can't do it, guys. It is a waste of money. With that said, I hate to say it, it's a total or nothing here. Marco, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to agree with you. It's the total or nothing, and that's what I'll do. And just to point out, though, the Arizona win over Toronto when, they shocked everybody as a huge underdog, you got to take note. If you are a situational player and wanted to try to pull the trigger in that game or have taken them with a plus on the puck line, you were looking at Toronto, who was playing back-to-back nights in that game. And who did they play the night before? They played the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas. That's one of the worst back-to-back spots you can have. Teams come in the day before for a Vegas game. And if you remember back to the first season, whenever the Golden Knights in Vegas was new, going to Vegas, teams coming in there, they used to call it the Vegas flu. Teams didn't play well because they came into town the day before and enjoyed the sights and sounds and gambling of Vegas. And Carmine, you talk about the lockdown in Canada. Well, I'm sure the Toronto players had a good time coming into Vegas, the day before for that game, and then had to play a game the next night in Arizona. But with that said, let's look at the total here. And you look at Colorado, in 12 of their last 14 games, they've scored 5 or more goals. 5 or more goals in 12 of their last 14 games. Colorado, this is a team that's not playing well, or not Colorado, excuse me. Arizona, we know their problems, and this is a team that's going to, anybody that they can unload at the trade deadline is going to probably get unloaded from that team. They've given up on the season. But I look at the goaltending of Colorado, and Colorado is one of the better teams in the West, but they're giving up a lot of goals this year, and that's a concern with this team. And you look at Kemper, 14 home starts this season. Although he's got a fantastic record in those games, if you just blindly bet the over in his home starts, 12-2 to the over. And overall this season, he's 16-4 to the over in the games that he starts. I'm going to look to the over 6.5. I'm not a fan of 6.5. But that is the only way you could play this game. And the fact that Colorado's coming off a loss, they're going to come out and get into this game right away. And the only concern I would have in this one is, and it's one of those ones where you can maybe hedge in-game, is if Colorado would jump out 3-0 in the first period, you're going to see an adjusted line on the in-game for the over-under. You might want to think about coming back with a little bit on the under on the inflated total, because teams that have a big lead like that and they get into the next period, a lot of times they just start playing dump and defense and not continue to attack. So you could get some value with the quick scores and bet the other way and maybe even get a middle.
Marco D'Angelo, WagerTalk.com. Marco's got a 5% play up tonight, and you can use that coupon code PT20 to get was it $15 off that play? So good luck to
No,
Marco. And
20
I want
off.
to wish 20 off. And that's it, just $15. And of course, I want to wish our Tuesday and Thursday regulars, Buster and Bryan Leonard, they both have 5% plays up in NHL tonight. You can get those over at Sports Memo and WagerTalk. Bryan Leonard, 17-4 lifetime with his 5% plays in NHL. So head over to WagerTalk and Sports Memo and grab those. Andrew, you've got to have some prop bets on tonight, on this Colorado game.
Yeah, I definitely have some closing thoughts, and I have a prop bet that's actually going to be my best bet on this game. So I'm throwing in an anytime goal scorer as a best bet, looking at things. But these are more so like the game props, and I talk about this on Prop It Up. And guys, I never really do this stuff. I know that it might be irregular recommending these things here on the show, but hey. Sometimes when you see a minus 600, you have to find some ways to get some winners in a different way here. Looking at this game, you can bet Colorado and the over at plus 105. So the Avalanche to win the game and the total to go over 6.5 plus 105. This is straight from DraftKings. You can look at several different sports books. You can also look at Colorado Avalanche minus 2.5 and over 6.5 plus 185. Just like Marco said, this team, they're so talented. They've got so many players on their roster that can score, but they also give up goals as well. I expect the over to cash in. And let's be honest here, that game against Arizona for the Maple Leafs, the expected goals numbers were 3.88 for the Leafs. I'm not so sure we can see a goaltending performance just like we saw from Arizona their last time out. But about the fading a team after they're in Vegas, I love that theory, Marco. And if you remember, Marco, I was a kid on Christmas when you took me to Fremont Street for the first time. So I can only imagine what even professional athletes are like, having a good time, like you said, after being in lockdown in Canada and then going to Fremont Street or on the Strip. I could imagine they want to have some fun. But it feels like this Arizona team, Carm, will be rebuilding until I have as much hair as you. So I'm definitely not really counting on them to do the bulk of the scoring. I'm counting on Colorado to do the bulk of the scoring here. But yeah, minus 2.5 and the over is plus 185. It's a really, really good price there. We have one of my favorite segments of the week coming up. It's only on Fridays. It is the 6 in 60 with Carmine and Bianco. We're jumping into the Saturday slate now. It's always a jam-packed slate on the ice. Of course, we only record shows Monday through Friday. So here's some action from Carmine for Saturday's slate. Carmine, the mic is yours.
All right, let's get this started. Columbus, Florida, over 1.5 first period. Panthers 13-2, their last 15 on the first period, over 1.5. Anaheim and Chicago. Chicago minus 120. 3 wins in a row for Chicago. Anaheim coming off a Friday night game. Let's take Chicago there. Dallas and Tampa. We're going to take Tampa in regulation time minus 120. Dallas 4-11 on the road. I am fading them. Washington and the Islanders. Islanders plus 105. 5-0-1 their last 6 at home. They may not make the playoffs, but we can make some money off them. Ottawa and Edmonton. We're going to take the over 6. Last 5 games last year at Rogers Place between these two. 40 goals scored, average of 8 a game. Finally, Colorado and Arizona. They're playing tonight, but they're also playing in Arizona tomorrow. We're going to take the Avs on the puck line tomorrow at a much better price. Bimelka's not going to stand on his head like he did against the Leafs. So let's take Colorado minus 1.5. That's it. I'm done. Mic drop.
Absolutely love it. That was amazing. That is a lot harder than it looks. And Carm had some time to spare. He's out of here. It's just you and I, Marco, now. So we'll jump into some best bets and promotion stuff with you. Great stuff there from Carm. Some great action for tomorrow. So, Marco, you have a big play up tonight. What else can you promote? You talked about NFL, the success in the playoffs. I'm looking forward to the playoffs this weekend. Here I am in the far east coast of Canada getting a bunch of snow outside right now. I'm not going to be able to leave my house. I can't wait for the NFL, but also NHL. What's going on for you completely this weekend over at WagerTalk.com?
Okay, well, let's start it off tonight with that 5% in hockey. And guys, we've got a deal running for any capper at WagerTalk. You can pick up the NFL playoffs right through the Super Bowl, every play for just $119. And as I said, last year, 70% in the playoffs, 3-0 on 5% plays. If you rode me for the college bowl package, you went 12-4 with my bowl selections, including 2-0 on 5% plays. So I would highly recommend picking up your favorite capper. And if that happens to be me, that's fine too. $119, pick up a playoff package from any capper at WagerTalk. And that's it for me, guys. My next hockey game will not be until the 17th. And that's when the Pittsburgh Penguins come to town. And I always make my wife very unhappy when I pull out the Sidney Crosby jersey for that game.
You have to be that fan, Marco, that's wearing like a Pittsburgh jersey and a Vegas hat or something like that, so you can be like a mixture of
Yes,
both.
I am that guy. On the Marc-Andre Fleury game Saturday night, I wore my Vegas Golden Knights Fleury jersey and my Pittsburgh Penguin hat.
Hey, you stay true to your roots. I respect that a lot. What's the show best bet you can give us? Just for, I know it's only 3 games tonight, but the show best bet, was it that total you mentioned?
We're going to go back to that total in the Minnesota Anaheim game. I think you're going to see a wide open game between these two teams. A lot of pucks hitting the back of the net. Take the over 5.5 for my best bet.
Awesome. Anaheim Ducks, Minnesota Wild, over 5.5. Really happy to have you on the show, Marco, and best of luck this weekend. And best of luck tonight on the 5% play. Carm, that was one of the most boss exits I've ever seen you make. I thought you were going to leave us forever, and that wouldn't have been great, but that was awesome. 6 in 60 segment. What's your best bet for tonight, man? And what do you have up for tonight at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, listen, I enjoy the 6 in 60 segment. A lot of, remember, they're overnight lines, so always check and update the lines. Don't play a bad number ever. If it's 30 or 40 cents off of the number that you saw up on the screen, don't take it. It's a bad number, but these are the overnights, and we've seen a lot of volatility in the numbers, especially the last 7 to 10 days. So make sure you always get the best number. Some plays up in afternoon soccer today and NHL tonight. NFL cards are up, and a 5% play that not in the NFL but in the NHL that goes tomorrow night. So you can head over to WagerTalk.com, take advantage of that 3-day special, $49, and you get all the plays today, tomorrow, and Sunday, including any 5% plays. As far as the best bet, I'm going back to that Minnesota game I talked about. I'm going to take the first period. I'm going to take the plus 150, look for Minnesota to get off to a quick start, have the lead after 1, and take the plus 50. I don't want to lay any juice in any of these games tonight, so I'm going to take that route and hope that Minnesota has the lead at the end of the first, and we'll cash a plus 150 ticket, Andrew.
Let's hope for a big game and a big first period. Minnesota Wild in the first period, plus 150. And guys, I got a best bet today. It's going to be a prop. Before I get into that, though, I'm looking forward to NFL playoffs, just like Marco's talked about. For me, I've decided, look, I'm going to have some plays, sides, and totals. It's a prop weekend for me. I've been very low volume in the prop world this season in the NFL, but the playoffs are really where I'm going to look to play a lot of props in the NFL. Prop package will be loaded after this show. Several props I already have my eye on, waiting on a few more pieces of information for a couple other props, but looking forward to the NFL weekend. And NHL, guys, I'm disappointed I dropped that 5% play last night, but still hitting just around 72% since the middle of November on the ice in the NHL. So the run's still been great in the NHL. Looking forward to keeping it going tonight with a couple plays in action, including some props and including this one, Nazem Kadri, plus 150 to score a goal. He's the second line center for Colorado. Somehow he will not be in the All-Star game, which he really should be. I think the All-Star format is completely ridiculous. I honestly think he should be there instead of McKinnon. And that's saying something because I'm a huge McKinnon guy. He's from my hometown. But I think Nazem Kadri's having an outstanding year, and they're playing the Coyotes as minus 600 favorites. You can get Kadri to score a goal at plus 150 in the prop world. So Kadri is my best bet here, guys, to get on the board with a goal tonight at plus 150. Recap the best bets here on the show here on Friday edition of Puck Time. We've got Marco D'Angelo with Anaheim, Minnesota over 5.5. Carmine, the same game, Minnesota first period minus a half, plus 150. And I've got Nazem Kadri to score a goal tonight at plus 150 for the Colorado Avalanche. On behalf of Carmine, Marco, I want to wish you guys a great weekend. I'm Andrew McInnis, and we'll see you guys on Monday.
Why pay the regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo? WagerBucks are now eligible for use on not just daily, 3-day, and 7-day passes, but all long-term and seasonal packages up to 1 full year. There are tons of options available for every budget and size of bettor. From low as $100 gets $110, all the way up to $2,500 gets you $3,000. Save every day on every pick you buy with WagerBucks.